My OBS, I'm not getting any sound.
Elemental. Somebody wants Elemental Evil Player's Companion. There you go.
Yeah, well, I was just trying to see what I'm supposed to open up. I'm going to have to be educated here real quick. What the rules are, what are we doing, just to make sure I don't mess up here. I'm looking over the character sheet right now.
We don't have any real rules. This
There's
is just
no
fly by
rules.
your seat of your pants kind of stuff here.
Oh, just like we all play. Good.
The Wild West.
Doug can't handle it, Gwydion. You can't
It's
drop,
like my
you can't
Saturday
drop
night
shit on Doug.
sessions.
He can't take it. He doesn't know how to use fantasy
Rob
grounds.
will know that. He's watched it.
What happened? The women you talking about?
Yeah.
Awesome. They all love me. Drop a heel on an unconscious character, and they love you for life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I noticed that. Shundry comes by and visits me quite a bit now that I resurrected her character.
Yeah, see? If you treat them real good, they'll send you pics.
I don't want
Yeah. Don't
They're
hop into my channel then.
They're G-rated pics, but I mean, still, the effort's there.
Yeah, they have to wait till after 10 o'clock before they can get over the line.
Splug?
Splug.
Nice. This is gonna be pretty hilarious to see how you guys navigate this.
So, who in this party is actually good aligned? I hear no takers.
Splug is neutral, but Splug loves to help people. He's a cleric, so
You can be anything you want. I'm of the philosophy that even evil people will work together for mutual interest and will have loyalty to a small band despite their evil intentions.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely.
Yes, I do need just a second. My stuff is not working right.
tighten up over there, Schmo. Come
Done,
on,
Chris.
I
tighten up.
know.
Tighten up over there. He's the one that put the whole thing together.
Dave, on your OBS, what is your audio output set to?
My voice meter. I have everything running through voice meter.
And is it set to? Is it your voice meter output or the aux output?
Output. There should be an output and an input. It's when you want something to hear it, it'll always be set
he's
to
already
output.
saying tighten up. There's Cousin Eddie and Cousin Clark.
So because there are 6 of you guys, I'm actually not going to start you guys off with any inspiration at all, but I'm going to award it, through gameplay here too.
That is bullshit, Doug. I better have like 10 starting potions.
I've got 27 points of DM inspiration. I'm going to use that from David's campaign. I like that idea. The DM gets his own inspiration. Goes, yeah, man, I didn't kill you. Let me re-roll that.
Oh yeah.
I'll just keep re-rolling on Dave until I get a crit.
That's okay. I'll just kill your fucking character on Sunday, Doug.
Tit for tat.
Oh gosh.
I better hurry on and put in a patch for fantasy.
Oh my god. John's going to be in there. Beep,
Doug,
beep, 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 beep.
you know
His
how many
hack programs
jokes
and
there
shit.
are about DM dice patch that already exists, which doesn't exist, of course, but people roll ones in a row
right,
and they
it
go,
doesn't exist. Wink, wink.
wink, wink, right?
I just got done watching Guardians of the Galaxy 2, so that was the Rocket Raccoon's always like saying stuff and then winking with his wrong eye. It's pretty funny.
There it is, everybody. The haircut. What up? What's happened? Oh, and a shave. What
I was
happened?
winking.
I went crazy, everybody. I do that every summer. Whatever.
Thank you for the DM dice mod thing. My chat's blowing up over it now.
No spoilers. Dosey Clan,
Just if
no
you want your character
spoilers.
to
That is
survive and to
very
do
much
really,
against the
really, really
rules.
well, just find out what I'm naming my characters in the game and just use the same name. It's pretty simple. It's easy.
That is your first warning. Mod will kick you if
Not
you do
really.
spoilers.
If you check, it's funny. I posted our stats up on the forums because we can analyze. We had that little script that analyzed who rolled what dice and everything. I think it's pretty clear that I tend to roll like crap.
Maybe that carries over as DM. Awesome.
Even my digital dice fail me miserably.
Oh yeah, do I have anything?
All right, who are we waiting on? Anybody? We all ready to go?
I think so.
I think so.
Yes, sir.
I'm ready.
All right.
Well, it looks like we're still waiting on Chris for a second.
All right. I'll just throw that up when you're ready. We'll all start.
I shouldn't put first warning in the chat. I should put last warning in the chat. That's cool. Oh, it's Dosey Clown. I didn't realize. What did I say? Calm. My eyes. I'm fucking already passing out. The game hasn't even started. I spent the whole day being excited. Plus, I just took two. My back is so much killing me right now. I just took 2 painkillers. They're just regular acetaminophen or whatever, but still. Hope I don't pass out.
All right. I'm going to go do a quick bio break while we're waiting. I'll be right back.
Hey, Bana UK, thanks for the
Actually, sounds
follow.
like a good idea.
Apparently,
One sec.
my follower shit ain't working since I had to reset my settings. I see that you followed me via email. Don't worry, Rob, too, if you pass out, there's a line to take your place in the game. Yeah, thanks for the follow. Apparently it didn't update on the thing. I gotta
Can you hear me
check
okay?
into that.
Yep.
Now, why the heck am I not getting audio from y'all, though? That's the weird part.
You can't
Like,
hear us?
I can hear you, but my Discord's not, or it's not pinging out to my OBS.
Are you using Voice Meter Banana?
I am.
Do you have
And
your
my
Discord?
microphone, go ahead.
Yeah, do you have your Discord set on microphone on the left and cable? Hold on, let me check it. Cable A input on the right?
I do, yes.
The only thing I can say is maybe stop Discord and restart it. That might help. I've gone through so many permutations of why shit doesn't work. You can't even believe it. I'm amazed that everything's working for me right now. Don't jinx it. Oh shit, don't jinx it, anybody.
Don't jinx us, Rob.
I was just saying that out loud, but not on push to talk. Streaming dirty rotten scoundrels, the Fantasy Grounds thing says. Fuck yes. Cousin Clark and Cousin Eddie, that's how they do it. That's how we do it. FSHSchmo, sometimes the
Alright,
Discord settings with
y'all say
Discord
something real quick.
input and output change.
Say something to y'all real quick.
Yep.
Gwydion says,
Can you hear us?
Schmo Gwydion says that sometimes Discord input and output change and you have to reset them.
Mine did. Yep.
Yeah, let's see here. One more second.
That's the great thing about having 4 streams going, is somebody will know what to do. Two people have not checked, one of which is Chris, of course.
Y'all say something one more time?
Hello,
Sorry.
hello.
Nice,
Test.
got it. All right, cool. I got it. Yay for Discord losing all your settings.
Yeah.
You know this happens to me every time Windows updates.
Yes. Who's making that clicking? I bet it's Doug. Who's the clicker? Yes. Doug and Duff both don't have
All
push
right,
to
we're
talk.
all set, ready to go.
Sure.
Dave,
Yes,
you
sir.
can kick off the stream if you want on our channel.
Let's play.
All right, all right. So, without further ado, we'll get started. I'm going to spend just a moment to just let all the players quickly introduce themselves, what their characters look like, who they're going to be playing, and we'll go according to the list at the top on Fantasy Grounds. So, Splug, tell us who you are in real life and the character you'll be playing tonight.
Hello, everybody. My name is David, and I am playing Splug. Splug is a Goblin Tempest cleric, and he is from a land long, long away called the Ninter Vale. And he has made it across the Sword Sea to the Sword Coast and has taken refuge with a bunch of other adventurers that are looking for loot, looking for all kinds of adventure, and we're going to have some fun.
Because goblins do it the best, you know.
Nice, nice. All right, Cousin Eddie.
Hello, everybody. My name is FSHSchmo. I will be playing Cousin Eddie, the bugbear fighter of noble background. So me and my kinfolk, Cousin Clark, heard about some venturing going on and thought we would see what that kind of stuff was about. I can often be seen parading around in a clothing resembling a bathrobe, wearing a hat made out of some kind of animal. And I love smoking cigars.
Very good, very good. How about, is it Trigan or Tragan?
We'll go with Tragan. How about that? Tragan
Tragan.
Mistblade. It is a half-elf rogue looking for some adventure and trouble. And I am a Duff 563, otherwise running off the Praetor's Rejects channel.
It's
and looking forward to
I play Schmo's cousin.
adventuring with this group.
Splug really thinks that bugbears stink badly.
There's a good way to stink and there's a bad way to stink. Evidently, they stink badly. All right, Thurbold.
Hello, my name is Jeff. You can also call me Geo. I am playing Thurbold Vec, the human wizard. I was once a functionary of the Host Tower Arcane of Luskan. And thank you, everyone, for coming and joining and listening to my story of how I became the most powerful man on the Sword Coast. And please welcome all of my minions, these goblinoids and others.
Very nice. Love it. Love it. All right, Cousin Clark, you're up.
All right. My name is Rob Toohey, and I will be playing Cousin Clark, cousin to Cousin Eddie, obviously. I am a bugbear.
cousin.
Hey, what's up? I am a bugbear gladiator fighter specializing in tumbling, and I am a young bugbear standing about 7 feet tall, weighing 300 pounds, and I love to collect rumors and spread gossip.
Very good. Very good. All right. Last but not least, least in stature, perhaps, Vostok.
Hello,
They still stink.
I'm CJ. This is actually my first Fantasy Grounds game, so lucky you
Cool.
guys.
Welcome. Welcome.
Vostok is a particularly scrawny kobold with black scaly skin. So his deal is he likes to use disguise self to turn into a gnome, go into a small village, and try to convince the populace to revolt against their overlords. And he does this.
Very good.
He does this by preaching the tenets of anarcho-syndicalism.
That's a big word for a kobold, but I guess
And then his big plan is if they ever do revolt to go and rob their houses while they're doing revolution.
Nice. A kobold with a plan.
And so the reason he is now on the Sword Coast, he was further inland. I'm not exactly sure where because I haven't taken time to look at the map. But it actually worked one time.
Oh, snap. There's
he
the
got
map.
in really deep shit for it. So he had to run. And so that's how we ended up here at the Yawning Portal.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Well, thanks for the introduction for everyone. I'm Doug Davison. I'm one of the owners of SMiteworks, the creators of Fantasy Grounds, and I'm running the going to be the first DM of a group of DMs who are going to be running through each of the tales of the Yawning Portal. And I drew the short straw, perhaps, or whatever. But I'm doing Sunless Citadel, which I'm actually very happy to do because I ran that when it first came out, and Dungeons and Dragons 3.0, and so it was very memorable. It was my wife's first and last role-playing game that she ever played. So I don't know if that's a success or what, but it was at least memorable. She asked about Meepo already, so that's what we're going to be running through. But it's going to play out completely differently than I'm sure it did the very first time I played, not just because of the change in the editions from 3rd edition to 5th edition, but because of this collection of dirty, rotten scoundrels that we have that are going to be playing the game. And that's going to present some really kind of fun stuff. The other thing about this stream is, each of us is probably, we all DM a little bit differently, and hopefully you guys like it. I'm not necessarily a by the book kind of guy. I just try to keep things moving pretty quickly. So we'll see how that works. And that's the great thing about Dungeons and Dragons is you can really kind of play it any way you want to play, and whatever you and your group enjoys and has fun doing. Now, it's important when you have a group of DMs though, and you're going to have time sitting on the other end of the table as a player. You don't want to abuse the power of the DM at all, though, because that stuff will come back and get you later. So I was joking around with Dave about giving his character hell, and he just reminded me very quickly that, yeah, he's DMing my character later this weekend. So so that'll be fun, and we'll kind of go from there. So to start off, we're in the Sword Coast, which is a fairly heavily populated portion of Faerun, and I've shared the map out to the players. We're going to start out in the town of Waterdeep, which is at the bottom of the map that I shared just a bit ago. And so inside, we're going to just jump ahead to that point to where you guys have all assembled. You've all know each other, and you're coming in as a group at this point. That way we can get right onto the story. So amid the bustle of Waterdeep, within the castle ward, where barristers, nobles, and emissaries battle with word and contract, stands an inn not quite like any other. Before there was a castle ward, or even what could be recognized as an ancestor of the City of Splendors, there was a dungeon, and in that dungeon begins the tale of the Yawning Portal. So in ages past, there was a mighty wizard, Hallister, who built his tower at the foot of Mount Waterdeep and delved deeper into the tunnels, first built by dwarves and drow in search of ever greater magical power. So this is what our good friend Hallister is rumored to look like. He and his apprentices expanded the tunnels they found, worming out new layers under the surface for reasons of their own. In time, their excavations grew into the vast labyrinth known today as Undermountain, the largest dungeon in all of the Forgotten Realms. Hallister eventually disappeared, as have all of his apprentices, but the massive complex he built remains to this day under Waterdeep. And so for untold years, the secret of Undermountain remained hidden in the surface from the surface world. Everyone who entered its halls failed to return. Its reputation as a death trap grew to the point that criminals in Waterdeep who were sentenced to die were forcibly escorted into the dungeon and left to fend for themselves. Now, all of that changed when a man, two men, one of which was named Durnan, I'll share him out now, who was a warrior, and another guy named Mert decided to venture down in there and began returning with laden with riches and magical treasures. Mert used his wealth to buy a mansion, and Durnan had different plans. He retired from adventuring and purchased the land from which sat the deep, broad well that was the only known entrance into the dungeon. Around that well, he built a tavern, and he named the tavern the Yawning Portal. So it's a very famous tavern that draws people from all over, all different types of races and different nationalities, even within the land of Faerun, all come to this area. Some people are brave enough to go down into the tavern and try to seek entrance into the well, into the dungeons beneath. But it's a good place to meet up. It's a good place to try to seek work and to look for jobs and to gather and just say that you've been there. It's kind of like the Hard Rock Cafe of the Forgotten Realms. So you get your T-shirt and your mug that's stamped with Yawning Portal, and you're good to go. You can hold on to that and pass it down to your kids eventually and say, "Yep, I was there, baby." And so that's
survived the Yawning Portal.
yeah, I survived the Yawning Portal. And I got a bad case of gas, but other than that, I survived. So you're all there in the Yawning Portal, and it is in, let's see. Let's show a picture of what Waterdeep is. So this is the city of Waterdeep here.
Oh,
snap.
If they let a goblin in here, they'll let anybody in here.
Yeah. There are definitely parts of the city that you probably won't go into, but this is the part you're in right now, which is the Castle Ward. Okay, so now you guys have made your way through the Castle Ward. A lot of the parts of the city, you're pretty sure that they won't let you gain entry, but the Yawning Portal is popular enough. They know that a lot of people come from outside, and so you're allowed entry into this tavern, at least within the Castle Ward. Dun, dun, dun.
Is that the little thing above the door when you walk into the tavern?
That's right.
Yeah, that's the doorbell, the chime. You hit the button and the little magical imp sings a little tune. It's all good to go. So let's show, this is the actual tap room, if I can get my mouse to work. Okay, so there's a tap room. The Yawning Portal tap room fills the first floor of the building. The 40-foot diameter well that provides access to Undermountain dominates the space. The well is all that remains of Hallister's tower, and now, devoid of the stairways and floors that form subterranean levels, it drops as an open shaft for 140 feet. Sturges, spiders, and worse have been known to invade the Yawning Portal from below. Balconies on the tavern's second and third floors overlook the well, with those floors accessed by way of wooden stair that rise up from the tap room. Guests sitting at the tap room, at the tables in the tap room on the balconies have an excellent view of the well and the action below. So as you guys come in, it's a pretty bustling place. The second and the third levels are all pretty full, but they look like there might be a few tables still open in the upstairs compartments. There's more tables open in the downstairs. The downstairs part seems to be more common folk and kind of a rougher group. It's definitely the common room where the vulgar riffraff are free to cavort and drink and socialize, whereas the second and third stories you see a lot more finery, and they actually have some people at the stairs that are They appear to be maybe like a VIP section type thing where they're checking people and making sure that they're approved to go up. So as you come in, the waitresses, one of them looks over at you and kind of nods over to one of the tables that's empty in the common room, and kind of ushers you over that way as she's busy hustling, to deliver food and drink to another table across the common room. There's also, as you guys enter the area, there's a fairly stout female orc that you notice that's sitting at a table by herself, kind of over by where you've been directed, but one table over. She seems to be waiting for someone, but you get the sense that they're either late or they're no-shows, because when you guys came in, she seemed to kind of pique her interest and look over, and then once she kind of took an accounting of everyone in the party and saw that it wasn't who she was looking for, she has a slight look of disgust on her face and just kind of sitting there fidgeting and kind of tapping her foot impatiently.
Was that after I gave her a big wink, Mr. Dungeon Master?
This is from Splug. I don't know if she noticed you. She seemed to be maybe looking a little bit more towards the taller members of your party.
I think she just missed me.
Probably just missed you. Yeah.
I immediately put a scented handkerchief over my nose and look around the room, blinking, keeping the oily soot out of my eyes, the torchlight, and make a beeline for that second floor.
Okay. So as you kind of start heading up for the second floor, there's it looks like a guard that's stationed at the base of the stairs. And he says, yes, sir, can I help you?
No, I know where I'm going. I'm going upstairs, thank you. And I continue past him.
He actually puts his hand on your chest and says, I'm sorry, sir, but all of the tables upstairs are reserved.
I know. I have one reserved. And please kindly remove your hand from my person.
And what is your name again, sir?
How rude of you. I am Thurbold Vec.
We should be under the name Splug. We're looking for the buffet. Is that around here?
So Splug comes up next to you and starts talking to the guy too. Yeah, so he kind of looks down a little bit with a little hint of disgust, but you're not the first goblin he's seen. And in fact, you're not the only goblin in the Yawning Portal right now too. But he kind of looks down at you and he says, is this goblin traveling with you, Mr.
Yes,
Thurbold?
Yes, he's one of my porters. Pay him no mind. He will find his own way. He's resourcul.
Okay.
Cousin Eddie walks over, dragging his feet.
Well, I'm sure I can find your name on this list. And he pulls out like a sheet and he's kind of flipping through here and he says, and he kind of looks down and he very obviously glances down towards looking for like a coin pouch that you might have strapped to your waist.
Oh, I definitely have a coin pouch strapped to me.
So he makes it very obvious that he looked down at that, and then he looked at the list and he's like, I'm looking for, how do you spell it again?
I hand him a silver piece and I say,
oh, it's just called Splug. We're here for the buffet. Good man. Thank you for all of your help.
Sure.
May
So
bless you.
He takes the silver piece and he says, very well. Yeah, I do see it here. And then he kind of moves out of the way and waves you up and says, enjoy your stay.
Something is coming over me.
I just pinched the bridge of my nose
and it's not good.
Okay.
I'm gonna muscle through.
The rest of you guys follow up as well?
oh yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna blend into the shadows. It's kinda...
He backs away a little bit further when the bugbears start to kind of move up to go up the stairs, and then
don't worry about those. They're my bodyguards, sir. I'm sorry about that. I'm royalty from where I come from, and the bugbears, they're just hired swords.
As you guys get up to the second story, there you see most of the tables are full, at least along the edge, especially right along the edge, but a little bit off the edge is some open seating that's not quite full yet. A lot of the people kind of look over at you guys because you kind of make a strange mix, but nobody else really says anything to you, and you're able to sit down.
I'll sit close to the railing so I can look over and look down into everything.
Okay. Yeah. So
I think that porter down there was full of crap. I don't see any buffet bar up here, guys.
Yeah. In fact, give me whoever's looking over the railing, give me a perception roll.
Do you want it in the tower?
Sure.
Now, Splug, where did you hear that they're having a buffet?
There was I could have swore I saw a sign out there.
Okay. So Tragan, you actually, you notice that the guy that stopped you guys at the base of the stairs.
Wow, something's going on,
He'd actually
everybody.
left the stairs area, and you see that him going out the front door and closing the door behind him.
I must be getting sick. I don't care.
As soon as we passed by him, went up.
No, he waited till you were upstairs, it looks like. And as you guys are seating and getting your chairs together, you see him exiting the front of the tavern.
I'd like to follow him. At least head out the door to see what he's doing.
Okay, sure. So you get back up, you start
Stealthily.
heading down the stairs.
That moving, you see the camera
You get out
moving.
to
That's
the
me
front,
violently
and,
shaking.
You open it up, and you don't see him
And
anyway. Although
my
it's-
laptop is on my
you
lap,
could've
and I
blended
don't
in
know
with
what's
the crowd
wrong with
somewhere,
me.
but he's definitely not standing right on the outside of the door. As you're kind of there with the
No,
door
that's
kind of
not
held
it.
open, kind of looking around for him, one
I'm
of the
freezing, and it's
waitresses
75 degrees in my
kind of
house.
comes over to you and goes, "Yeah, are you gonna have anything to drink? You guys just came in, right?"
Yes, we did. Let me rejoin my group back upstairs. I'm sure we were getting no order taken care of up there. Excuse me.
Certainly.
Hey, ask him about the buffet.
Splug, I do believe your buffet is in that large hole there, over there in the center of the room. You see it, surrounded by those torches. I do believe it's in there.
Oh, is it? Oh, is that how you get to it? I see there's a rope. Do we have to climb down the rope to get to the, what do you say, buffet?
Yeah,
Is that
Buffet, yeah.
That's fancy. You
So
guys
I-
speak weird over here.
The buffet. So as you guys are there, you can look down in there, and there seems to be a green mist that's covering the bottom of the well. You can't really see down into the well because of this thick green mist. And there's
Reminds me of
a
home.
pulley which is extended over and has a rope that's descending down into the very center of it. And you can't see where it goes. It drops down into the mist. And you hear several people kind of talking and occasionally looking down and kind of glancing at it. And you maybe hear someone say in the crowd, "I certainly hope it stays down there and doesn't come up here. I'm not really looking forward to finding out what that mist would do to us."
Hmm.
Hmm.
Then you hear a few other people a table over saying, "Hey, you should go down anyway. It's just a silver. I'm sure it's harmless."
Oh, that's not part of the package deal of me just giving the thug down there downstairs a silver. I have to pay it. Oh boy.
So the waitress comes up. as
Oh
you're-
boy.
How crowded is it down there? How crowded is it in this area?
This area, there's maybe room for about maybe 8 tables up along the balcony. It's a pretty big size building. And so there's probably, now that you guys took one of like the 2 last kind of open seating tables that are there, so there's still one other table open. You notice that the orc that you spotted earlier, I'm going to show you a picture. She actually stands up a little bit in disgust and kind of looks around, and she glances up towards the balcony, and she starts heading up the stairs towards where you guys are.
Hey baby, do you come here often?
Definitely going to fade into the shadows. And
Wow.
Facepalm.
Hello.
I got dibs on her, Splug.
So she she comes up to the top of the steps, and you notice that as she comes up the steps, there's nobody there that really stops and accosts her or anything like that as well. In fact, you don't see anyone even standing nearby the stairs at all. So they seem to just kind of let people come up and down, and then most of the other riffraff and the commoners don't seem like they are brave enough to attempt entry up to the upstairs. For fear not of maybe getting kicked out, but just because they don't feel like they fit in, so to speak. So as she gets to the top of the steps, she looks around, she spots your table, and she walks over to you, and she says, "Excuse me, is this you have room for one more?"
Of course, beautiful. Take a seat. The name's Splug.
Hello, Splug. So she sits down and she says, "My name is Maiev Skinflare."
Charming.
You might want to see a doctor about that, lady.
Yeah, well, it's not my own skin that I flay, but you seem like a different sort that comes through here, and frankly, the people that I was supposed to meet with are either late or incompetent, or they've been detained. So perhaps you all might be interested in a job. Are you here looking for work? That's what brings a lot of people to the Yawning Portal.
Depends on the type of work you have.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, she pulls up a seat and she like waves towards a waitress, and she says, "Let's start off these fine crew with a drink of their choice."
I push the seat under her and help her get cozy.
Oh, here you go, Mrs. Skinflare. Take a seat beside Splug.
She actually she looks at Vostok, who just spoke some things in Draconic, and she says, "I'm sorry, I don't speak Draconic or your other Kobold dialects."
That's okay. I don't either.
Yeah, neither do I. Speak common, you bastard.
But she continues on anyway, kind of unabated. And she says, "Well, it all starts with a tale. In a sleepy little town of Oakhurst, just northwest of Thunder Tree, in the foothills below where Mount Hottenah blew and shook the landscape. Every year at the midsummer solstice, a lone goblin walks into town with a single perfect ruby red apple. But this is no ordinary fruit. This red orb has the power to heal any disease or other ailment upon eating it. It fetches a paltry 50 gold in most years, probably on account of the seller being a goblin, a stinking goblin, and the humans not agreeing to pay no goblin any more than that. But that's only half the story, or maybe a quarter, as you're about to find out." And so she goes on to tell you that the red apple is valuable and is the secret to growing the red apples could bring great wealth if the operation weren't run by no lowly goblins. But the red apple is not...
Hey, watch it there, sister.
Yes. No offense meant, living amongst goblins. I'm sure you will agree that you are the lowliest of the low, next to the kobolds at least.
Actually, I've never honestly lived with goblins before. But
Well, consider yourself lucky. They're low. And she says, "But my clients are interested instead in a solid white apple that is sold at the Winter Solstice among the goblin and kobold tribes in the area. Now, this apple, it is said, is to bring everything that the red apple does not. It inflicts disease and brings about death. We want you to get this apple before it goes on sale, and we want you to gather the seeds or any other secret to growing them and bring it back to our clients. Bring us back a white apple, and our clients will pay you 150 gold. And there's potentially room for yet another task if you're up to it and you have low moral standards. And she looks at the goblin and the first, and then she kind of looks over to the bugbears.
A nod affirmative.
I wink at her and said, "What's these morals you talking about?"
That's what I like to hear. So people don't come to me for rescue missions. And so it sounds like two of the humans from a noble family in Oakhurst have joined up with the party to find the source of the apples, and they followed the goblin back into the woods. They haven't returned, and their mother Carowyn Hookrill offers a reward for their safe return of 125 gold. She pays 125 gold for each of their signet rings as proof of their death if they've fallen, or she asks for their safe return. So it turns out that the Hookrills, Talgan Hookrill, who's a fighter, and Sharwin Hookrill, a wizard, are also insufferable brats and heirs to the family fortune. Now, we don't want them to return, and in fact, our clients are willing to pay you another 125 gold to ensure that their heads are brought back separate from the rest of their bodies.
Mrs. Skin Rubber, I have a question for you. With these signet rings, does it matter if there's a finger still attached to the ring?
None at all. So you can, in fact, claim both rewards. Just make sure that they're dead. We don't want them showing back up in town.
650 gold pieces for a white apple and all the seeds, 2 heads, and 2 rings. Am I getting this correct?
That's
and 2 fingers.
Sizable fortune, but it's yeah. You can keep the fingers yourself. And in fact, she actually pulls her necklace out, and she has a it was kind of tucked under
between
her,
those 2 big
I don't know
melons
where it
she
was
has?
tucked. Yeah, looking at the picture, I'm not sure where she had it tucked, but she actually has. She has a string of, maybe she had it roll around backwards or so she springs it around to the front. It's actually got 17 severed fingers hanging on this necklace that she's wearing.
Those things are as big as my head.
Yes, she has 2 halflings and a headlock. We all understand this. I reach across the table and I touch her hand gently. Ma'am, when would you like us to complete this mission by?
Well, the winter solstice is upon us soon, so you must undertake it soon, and that's why I'm so impatient, is because I can't wait around for the other crew to show up and to do their job. But if you do this job, I'm sure my clients will have many, many jobs that we can send you on, assuming that you're not retired from this immense wealth that we're offering.
Oh, I'm sure we won't be retired. Having retainers such as mine does cost a little bit of money.
Indeed, it does. Indeed. So it must happen before the winter solstice, because the apple will be sold and we'll have to wait another year, which my clients do not want to have to wait for.
Yeah. And then you're going to blame it on the goblins again, it seems.
Yes, well, there are goblins that are currently controlling the means to this immense fortune that we believe is available once the apples are secured.
Hey, Splug.
Yeah.
You think she's smuggling some gnomes under that get up right there?
I'm pretty sure she is, yeah. They're about the size of my head. I mean, look at those things.
Mama.
Splug is in love.
Forgive their vulgarities. Forgive their vulgarities.
If
They-
there are any
I'm just
girls
saying-
there, I want to do them.
Oh, was
Yeah, I'm just a goblin. I'm just the
says, "Oh,
lowest
I'm-
of the low, of course.
I'm fully aware of the impact that my outfit has upon lesser creatures, and by that I mean men.
Have you ever dated a goblin? You want to know what my nickname is? They call
What's
me
your-
Tripod.
You know how difficult it is to be an arrogant son of a bitch when you guys are talking? I'm laughing my ass off.
I'm not sure that I've ever imbibed quite that much liquor to give that a try, but I'll take your word for it. So do we have
in
a?
the morning?
Do we have a
Yes,
deal?
we do
Okay,
have a
very
deal.
good. If you come here and she gives you a, she'll actually give you a small, cheap copper signet ring. And she says, show this to the head bartender, other than Dernan. Don't show it to Dernan. And they will know how to contact me when your mission is complete, and I will meet you here the following evening to pay you your handsome reward.
Thank you, dear.
And so she, before she leaves, though, she pulls out a map and she shows you the map. And it's a very somewhat crudely drawn map that shows, Waterdeep and,
Wow. Am
Neverwinter
I
up
just
north, the Neverwinter
violently
Wood.
shaking?
And so she
This is not good. My
points
nose is
out
starting to run.
Mount Hottenall, which is, let me draw a pointer. She points to it right there. And she says that the foothills just below where the Neverwinter Wood begins is where Oakhurst is located. And they believe that the apples originate from somewhere in that area. But once you get to the town, I'm sure you can ask around and trace the footsteps back of where the Hookrills left.
That's actually quite some distance.
It is. It is.
We don't have horses, do we?
We're
We're level 1. Of course we don't have horses.
We can secure passage for you for the thing as well. If you want to meet down by the docks, we'll get a passage for your group on a ship, which will take you to Neverwinter, which will put you much closer.
Good. Very good.
Do you have any additional questions for me before I leave?
Are your clients rich?
My clients are many, but these particular clients are one who are making a wise investment related to the Hookrills.
Very well.
Well, it's a pleasure doing business with you, Mrs. Skin Rubber. It was nice to meet you.
She kind of smirks a little bit, but it doesn't seem to bother her at all. She's probably used to very, very crude languages, being an orc. But with that, she gets up, kind of does a small half bow towards you, and takes her leave.
Before she leaves, Vostok tries to whisper, I'll try to kill a goblin if I have a chance.
She kind of looks over at Splug and she says, please do. And then she exits.
When she does her half bow, Eddie nudges Splug.
Yeah.
I fall into her blouse.
Oh, excuse me, Mrs. Skin Rubber.
I just
Mental
cover
note.
my eyes and drink. That's all I do. Just cover my eyes and drink.
Yeah, that's
Mental
all you can.
note.
All you can.
Slug will not heal
Hey, Wolf.
the person that just wanted to kill a
Oh,
goblin.
man, I'm sick.
Mental note.
DM is Doug Davison.
All right, so she heads out. The rest of the evening, you're able to kind of carouse, enjoy the scenery. You hear a lot of people trying to encourage someone to go down into the well, but everyone seems to chicken out. A couple people seem to get pretty drunk and get close and get as close to actually grabbing onto the rope as if they're going to go down, and then they chicken out and then they go back out. But you hear the waitress telling the table next to you that last night this green mist came up and they don't really know what's causing it, but the only person that went down there didn't come back up, and there were some pretty horrendous noises and sounds coming from them beforehand. And when they did pull the bucket up, it was empty. So she seems to be discouraging people from going down at that table, at least, because they were trying to convince one of their members to go down. So maybe now is not the safest time to go down. Okay, so if you guys don't have anything else that you wanted to do here, I mean, you're welcome to cover anything else you want to hear. Otherwise, we will use the power of roleplay, and we will say that you guys have a great evening and, you know, a pretty fun but otherwise uneventful evening. And the next morning, you guys meet down at the dock, catch a ship, and ferry your way up to Neverwinter. And so from there, your passage has been paid fully, and you find your way on the road to Oakhurst. After asking a few people, you're able to pretty much get directions from Neverwinter to Oakhurst along the high road.
Mr. Dungeon Master, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Well, did Mrs. Skin Rubber pay for our boat trip? And what was the name of this ship that we just sailed on? Because I floated on an inner tube over here from the Mentor Vale, and that was a pretty rough trip, I'm going to admit.
Yes, your passage was covered in full, and it was the sailing mermaid that you traveled upon.
The sailing mermaid. I was hoping for like Twin Peaks or something like that from what she was had packed in that shirt she had on.
Nice.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Mr. Dungeon Master. I just get a little excited every time I see an orc with huge melons the size of my head.
Now remember, you're supposed to be after the apples, not the melons. Did you get distracted?
That's right, the apples. Apples and green mist. Apples and green mist.
All right, so let's see. Let's move forward to here. Sorry, guys. I got to try to figure out where I did with my stuff. Okay. So, yeah, you guys make your way to the city of Oakhurst, and it's a small, sleepy little town. And as soon as I can pull it up here. There we go. It has about 900 residents, including the outlying farms. Most of the people that you kind of see milling about are humans, and there's a sizable minority of halflings and a scattering of other races. You seem to be the only goblin, kobold, and bugbears in the mix, but there are some half-elves in with the humans as well. There appears to be a village hall, which is kind of in the center of the building, a general store, a shrine, and another building looks like a jail, and a blacksmith, and maybe an inn.
What time of day is it?
You guys got off the boat at Neverwinter, and you traveled, let's see how far that would be. It probably took you guys a good another day or so travel. So I'd say it's probably maybe just before noon on the following day when you find yourself traveling into Oakhurst.
What a cozy little looking town, Mr. Dungeon Master.
Yeah, it seems to be decent size. I mean, for this area at least, it's no Neverwinter or no Helmshold, but it's you know, a goodly size compared to most farming villages and towns.
I'm gonna keep my eye out for any type of my underground language and cants to see if I can notice any of my rogue kin or types that might be around that I can speak with.
Okay. Yeah, so you actually when you're close by the inn, the sign on the door says the Old Boar Inn, and there seems to be a marking that most people would probably mistake as just like a scuff mark on the lower left corner of the sign, but to you it's clear as day that this is a place that also serves as a fence.
Okay. I will file that away. Thank you.
Does this inn look like it's a good inn? Is there one that looks better than this one?
This town appears to only have one inn, one public inn. So this
Good.
one is the best and the worst.
You said
I
it's
will-
the Old Boar Inn?
The old boar. You know, that old boar.
I will go inside.
Okay. It's around noon, so there's you can smell like a stew that's cooking. There's a bartender that's wiping the counter off the bar with a rag that he's got, and he flings it up over his shoulder and kind of nods as you come in, and he says, "Welcome. Have a seat. What brings you to Oakhurst?"
Just traveling through.
Welcome. That's not true. We're sent here to find some apple. Isn't that what the lady sent us here for?
Hey, he actually that kind of catches him by surprise, and he says, "An apple? I'm sorry, I don't know who told you this, but you're off by a good number of months. The summer solstice is when the apple is typically brought in each year and sold at auction."
Just a heavy sigh as I'm realizing now that my character is going to be rubbing his forehead and his face a lot.
Yeah,
Do you have rooms?
we do. In fact, this time of year, there's not much that brings people to Oakhurst. Like I said, the summer solstice is when people tend to come this way. Why do you have someone who's ill or who is sick?
We're all a little sick now.
Can you cure him of being a goblin?
I'm not sure the apple is that strong.
I resent that.
No, you resemble that.
Mental note. No heals for him either.
Mental note changes mental notes.
So you're welcome to sit at the bar, or you're welcome to have a table. Are you more thirsty or hungry?
A little bit of both. I don't see a buffet. Do you have a buffet of
I'm sorry, we don't
worms
have a
and-
buffet, but we do have a big pot, a big stew on the fire, and it's been cooking for a couple days, and we just added some new stock to it today. So
Ooh.
yeah, there should be plenty in there. I'll actually, and he says he kind of like smacks on the bar a couple times, and then someone comes out from a kitchen area, and it's it could be his wife or other relative of his, and she's got an apron on. She's rubs her hands off on her apron, and she says, "Oi, what do we got? Another group of hungry bellies, eh?"
Yes, my dear.
Well, you're a
Some of
sight
that
for sore
lovely
eyes. Absolutely.
Some of that lovely stew would be wonderful.
Yeah, very good, very good. Coming right up. So she goes back into the back and comes out, a short time later carrying a stack of bowls, and goes over and ladles out some dishes and puts it down in front of each of you. She kind of looks at the bugbears a little bit more. She seems to be looking more towards Thurbold and Tragon, as if these other creatures must work for you or something. But she doesn't say anything about it otherwise. She gives a nicer bowls to you guys. The other ones, she seems like she just kind of like slops it down in front of them, and then she walks off and goes back into the kitchen, coming back out a little while later with some more stuff that she starts throwing into the pot.
So
Delicious.
You said that she was eyeballing the bugbears? Like what kind of eyeballing?
Well, it's they probably don't see a whole lot of bugbears here. Just guessing by the fact that most of the towns appears to be mostly humans.
Innkeep, is this woman your wife?
Indeed, she is. That's Helga.
Handsome woman. You are a lucky man.
She's
Ah,
a
she
handsome woman.
keeps me
Man.
well fed. And he
Her
pats
stew
his
is
stomach.
indeed delicious.
So,
Do you have
so what-
rooms?
Yeah, we do. We do have rooms. Do you need any stable space as well? And he kind of eyeballs the goblins and the kobold and the bugbear.
Ah.
They will need rooms as well.
We
will need your discretion.
Or your indiscretions.
You see, you seem to have an honest face, so mayhaps I can tell you. I point at Splug. You see him, and I say this in a very conspiratorial but loud whisper. You see him, you see he's actually a holy man of great and immense power, and he's come to bless the fields before spring comes. Therefore, all the crops are going to be doubled. But it's a secret mission. Cannot tell anyone we're here, and you need to make sure that we're hidden away in your inn somewhere where our enemies cannot find us, and therefore blight your crops.
And they call him Tripod.
He actually, first he's looking at you kind of a little bit incredulous as you're saying this, but as you kind of keep talking some more, he seems to be kind of going along with it, and he starts rubbing his chin as he's thinking, and he says, "Well, what kind of enemies would you have? Because I don't really want any trouble or anything."
Well, as long as our secrets are kept safe, you won't have any need to worry about it. Do not mention the goblinoids that are here. Hide them away in your attic or wherever you may wish. Keep it
I just shrug.
quiet.
Well, I'm not entirely sure I can help too much with that. I mean, what's in it for me, really?
Do you have children?
No, unfortunately, that's the one blessing I haven't got so far.
I'm sure Splug can make sure that blessing does come upon your house.
But they
I
might
pull
come
out
out
my-
looking like some goblins, though.
Yeah, I have a symbol of Thor, which is a big hammer that's on a necklace, and I pull it out of my armor, and I kind of grasp it in my hands, and I put my hand on the server, and I say, "I bless you with the power of Thor. Rub-a-dub-dub. Thanks for the grub." And then I start eating.
Vostok asked who Thor is.
Excuse me, you know who Thor is, right? He's the god of thunder and lightning.
And then I I create an orb of lightning, and it just kind of rolls around in my hand.
Has the innkeep gone? Is he still with us, or is he back behind the bar?
No, yeah, he's still there. He's
Okay.
kind of sitting in front of you at the bar, and he hadn't served you guys drinks yet. His wife brought the food over, but he's he's just been basically talking with you guys so far.
Kind of just reach over to motion for a glass of his fruit of the vine, and little with the hand signal and just kind of my movement, I want to give him the see if he recognizes that I'm looking, understanding that it's the fence, of speaking with somebody out of sight, and just kind of throw those symbols and say a few words. I don't want to go in too big of a spiel right now, but it's kind of a mundane talking, but throwing the words to him that might pique his interest, that I'm going to speak, with him out of sight of anybody else around the room.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, there's a couple people kind of over in one corner. He reaches up and kind of scratches his eye on the left side, and puts his arm up at the table in a manner that basically kind of asks if it's safe to talk in front of the comrades that you've brought with you.
Sir, if your eye is itching, I have some ointment in my pack here that I can take care of that.
I cross my arms kind of at the table, and wrapping my fingers on the wood there, and there's a motion of this face to face, on our own. without out of earshot of everybody else.
Okay. All right. Yep. So he crosses his arms too in recognition, and then says, "Yeah, my eye does cause me some problems. You know, I think it's this the changing of the seasons. You know, but yeah, I'm sure it'll get over it soon. I'm sure." And so he's like, "Well, what do y'all have to drink?"
The wine,
please.
Okay. So some wine and he gives out some wine, and he's
some wine for the ladies, and then I'll take an ale. Thanks.
Yes, the ale.
Ale.
Yeah, it's not particularly good. It's not particularly bad, but it's very, very serviceable. Wine and ale, both.
Vostok asks for milk, the drink of the people.
Milk of human kindness coming right up. So
I reach up and put a
says,
little
we
bit
have
of
some
salve
chilling.
onto
We have
his
some
eye.
chilling in the well behind the house. We'll send Helga out to go fetch some. So she does that, and then they bring you some nice chilled milk. It's really pretty good. All right, so he's hovering around the area for a while, and when you guys aren't asking him any questions directly, he just kind of doing the typical bartender thing, takes his towel off his shoulder, kind of wipes down the same part of the bar that he's wiped down hundreds of times, and just staying busy.
So I'm looking around the tavern. Is there anything else? And this is gone for Oakhurst as well. Is there any kind of like wanted posters or anything like that? I'm kind of keeping my eye open for this kind of thing.
Not directly in the tavern, but there did appear like there might be a jail building out in the when you go back out to the main street there. All the different buildings are pretty much all on the same street. It's like a one street town.
And you said the old boar was pretty busy, or
yeah, there's a there's a handful of people in there. Looks like maybe some workers from the nearby farms, and they're all eating for the most part, and taking a break for the day. But they don't stay in for too long, and then they start looking like they're about ready to wrap up to head out. So if you wanted to talk with anybody before they head out, it looks like maybe the lunch break is coming to a close.
Were there any kind of discussions that could be overheard or anything?
Sure, yeah. So there seemed to be. Give me a perception check. We'll see. And anyone who's kind of listening into the conversation, feel free to you can just throw it in the chat. That's fine.
That would be me, I guess.
Oh, wow.
Did I do that right? Did I roll that right? That was a 20.
All right, you guys have already tapped out your 20s for today, so yeah, let's keep that on a limit, Okay, so yeah, both especially Splug and Vostok, and also Clark, you'll hear some of this as well. So there's a couple of different conversations that seem to be going on amongst the group. So one of which is when you come in, you hear a couple people kind of talking about, hey, you think they're here for the apple? And they're like, probably, but it's the wrong time of year for the apple. And then they kind of go off on a tangent about, I think those those bloody goblins keep stealing the seeds before they bloom.
I'm starting to see the theme here. Nobody likes goblins around here.
And then you hear it. You pick up another group about, maybe they're here for the hookrills. I heard that there's a pretty hefty reward. And they're like, I don't know. I think they're probably dead. They should have never went out there on their own. A bunch of kids. And then you hear somebody say, but they had the ranger with them.
Where is this all taking place now? Once again,
a couple of the different tables that are seated in the area there. So you're able to kind of eavesdrop as you're sitting at the bar.
Yes, I'm going to excuse myself to make myself to the out privy, wherever
Okay.
that may be, motioning or looking for the sign of where I may be able to discreetly vanish, speak with if the innkeep is the man to talk to, or who that might be, just to get some more information of what's going on around the town and about what's happening here. That's basically what I'm trying to do.
Sure. So after a little while, and he sees you head off, he calls Helga to come back up to the front and say, "Hey, can you relieve me for a bit?" And he heads out as well. And then kind of once he goes out there along the back side of the building, there's some stacks of wood that have been split and stacked up nice and neat for the fire, and some other kind of stuff stored back behind the building and off to the side in between the stable and the main building. And he kind of spots you and motions for you to come over by the wood pile there. What do you got? You got something you're trying to sell?
I'm just trying to find out exactly what your offers here, and how it works in this part of the area. It's a little unfamiliar. I'm a little out of my neck of the woods, and want to know more. Actually, I'm just wanting to get some information about what's been happening here, other than what the public may know. What some of the goods and maybe stuff that's being run through here. If you can give me an idea of what's happening.
Certainly. Well, assuming that we can, work together here, I hear a lot of stuff, so I'm always willing to help out a fellow, Zentarum, and he kind of looks at you and sees if you acknowledge that.
I don't believe Am I? Because I don't believe I'm going to acknowledge that.
Okay, well, if you hadn't considered it, we take care of our own, so I could probably make some introductions for you if you're looking for that sort of thing.
Well, I tap my pointy ears just to, without saying anything. I'm all ears.
Of course.
No,
So,
no pun intended by my friend there.
well, the first one's free. So I told you all true that you're not here the right time of year for the summer solstice and the selling of the red apple. But I hear a rumor that there's a white apple that the goblins have too. And the white apple is worth even more money in the right hands because it is a deadly, deadly apple to anyone who eats it. So it makes a brilliant poison that can be used. And so could be worth a good chunk of change. And that should be coming up here in the next next week or so, I would expect. It ripens a little bit at a different time each year, but normally right around the winter solstice.
Well, a couple of silver pieces kind of float in my hand there, just kind of nonchalantly. What information might you be able to gather about this goblin and their clan, and anything else I could know about them, about how to deal with them, if possible?
Yeah. So, what the heck are the name of They got a goblin tribe name, and I don't. The name kind of escapes me because it's in Goblin.
Don't look at me.
I'd probably mispronounce it or